Well, tomorrow is Youth Day, a day in which we commemorate the struggles and sacrifices made by the pupils and students who protested against apartheid in 1976 after refusing to accept being forced to study in Afrikaans. The protest led to huge repercussions, the police and army shooting school children. Seth Mazibuko was one of the people who led those protests. Part of the class of 76, now a community activist in Soweto. He also has a very complicated relationship with Eskom. Mr. Mazibuko, good afternoon to you, and thank you for your time today. I think for many people, this year's Youth Day feels a little different because of COVID-19. You were a part of what happened back then. Does it feel different to you?
Yeah. Let me be quick to even announce that we have actually come together with some young people who are forming a new structure called June 16 Youth Development to even say this year, June 16, from June 16 tomorrow to June 16 next year, and we are going to be using, here's the thing, using the spirit of June 16 to fight COVID-19. The theme here is 16 versus 19. That's a battle that the young people are saying. We want to use that spirit that our that our fathers, used to fight apartheid, use it to fight COVID-19. And the very first program they have is the program that says, in 1976, one of the main spirits of 1976, values of 1976, is that now we fought against Christos. We burnt down.
I can't hear him.
Hello?
Mr. Mazibuko, you're still there. You're saying that you fought against bottle stores. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. We seem to have a crossed line. Seth Mazibuko, I'm so sorry. I'm hoping we are going to be able to come back to that. All right, I'm sorry about that. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with Seth Mazibuko. I am aware of the history of how bottle stores were one of the targets of students protesting at the time in 1976. Important history considering some of the debates we're having now. Stay with us. We're not finished with him, but it was... Okay.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Mazibuko. I'm so sorry about that. We're going to come back to you now.
Okay. Should I drop the phone?
No, stay with us, and I will ask you to pick up around the alcohol story, because I am aware of what happened in 1976. It's very important for now. Okay, just hold on for a sec.
I'll pick up from there, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll introduce you again. Okay, KG, we're not doing headlines first. Are we doing Seth first, or are we doing headlines first? Kalani. Okay, but Kalani has to be at the same time every day. We can't... Jeez. Professor Msibi at StephenGrootes, can you hear me?
Hi, Stephen. I can hear you well. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm well. You're coming through loud and clear. Thank you, sir. We'll be with you in about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So you're starting with me? No. Are you sure? Be it on your head. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back. Let's continue our conversation with Seth Mazibuko, head of Youth Day tomorrow, already telling us about an initiative that's planned to take place over the whole year, but an important conversation around alcohol. Now, I'm aware of some history that talks about how students who protested against apartheid in 1976 also protested against the bottle stores in Soweto at the time. Seth Mazibuko is still with us. Mr. Mazibuko, good afternoon. You were telling us about this. Why is this important now?
Yeah. What's coming in the thing is that now, and what hurts me most, Stephen, and let me assure you, actually my voice is shaking now, because even when we commemorate June 16, my problem is that it is commemorated around liquor. And it is young people being taken to big stadium and then dancing and drinking. And at the end of the day, we even as parents dress in school uniform and go drinking. Now, that kills the spirit and the values and the virtues and the victories, for that matter, of 1976. Because 1976, the first buildings that went on ashes were broken stores. And let me tell you why. They were mostly in Soweto, built next to the station, you know, when I'm in Orlando East. I born, bred, and brought up in Orlando East in Soweto. I can assure you that the broken store that existed at that time was from Orlando Station. Then there's a broken store, and next to the broken store, there will be a shelter where our fathers used to drink. Now, we decided as the student leadership of 1976 that we're going to bring down those broken stores. Now, I'm worried that this time in this fight, in this battle, similar to the one maybe it's 1976, we are protecting broken stores, even celebrating them. And at the end of the day, what are we doing? Destroying schools. And what we are doing is we're even stealing from our schools. We even, let me ask any of members of the government who tell you how many schools that we have brought down ourselves. That, to me, is a critical issue, that in the battle against COVID, we as the youth in particular that I'm working with in the program that we are undertaking as is from tomorrow, we have used this slogan that says, using the spirit of 1976 using the spirit of June 16 to fight COVID-19. And you will see some programs coming up from there. We have already started, Stephen. We are supporting schools now that have reopened to help them with, to settle down the social distancing of children and all that. That is the spirit of 1976, of protecting and promoting education rather than fear.
Mr. Mazibuko, it's such an important point that you're making. I do want to ask you this question. I hope in a way you'll forgive the question. In 1976, learners and students and pupils and people at school were protesting against the system. And the system, of course, was wrong. We have a system now that has led to the majority of young people not having jobs and in a position where they can't really get jobs. I sometimes wonder if they aren't going to rebel against that system too.
My brother, let me assure you, there's a problem. Maybe I should use the common expression used now lately. Many of our young people still cannot breathe. They can't breathe. I must even use a further slogan. They are still having some people's knees on their neck. That's the point. I'm worried that our current education system is still the system that, as in hashtag #FeesMustFall, students spoke about when they say decolonization of education, that we need to decolonize education. We are paying in this country for a young person to be in the bedroom instead of being in the boardroom. We pay everything that young person uses in the bedroom, even what comes out of the bedroom. But we fail to pay for a student at VET, at UJ. We fail. What does that say to us as leaders? There is a lot that needs to be done, not only with the system, but also with the leadership in this country, whether in government or in education. And I am saying the struggle of 1976 has not yet ended. We fought against the curriculum of oppression, and our young people are still fighting the same. And it is just that now maybe we might be facing at different levels. I know that I'm going to be shredded and disliked for what I'm saying to you now. But that is the truth. Our young people are still having the same tears that we had when we were students in 1976. As about the system of education and about the whole portfolio of education, we need to have an indaba. And let me tell you something, Stephen. There's a lot in this country that we actually swept under the carpet that is now coming out of the carpet. And let me just tell you something, and this might destroy the freedom that we watered with our blood.